Want to start making money in real estate without needing cash, credit, or experience to buy properties? That's exactly what wholesale real estate lets you do. And today I'm going to break down how to get started, even if you've never done a deal before. So, first, let's define what is wholesale in real estate. And wholesaling is when you find an off-market property at a discount and then assign that contract to an investor for a fee, or it could just be any buyer. It doesn't have to be an investor. Now, if you're not buying or flipping or keeping as a rental, you're just basically connecting sellers and buyers and getting paid for the deal. Think of it being like a real estate matchmaker, right? You bring the deal and investors bring the money. So first, let's talk about step one in learning the basics. You're gonna have to understand key terms to be a real estate wholesaler. The one is ARV or after repair value. That's what the home will sell for after renovations. You have to know how to estimate renovation costs needed to get to that after repair value. And then from there, you got to bake in what's the maximum allowable offer that a wholesale or a real estate buy, renovate, and resell person would do, or a buy and hold investor would buy for. And that's essentially what they're going to pay for. And then from there, you got to know how much of an assignment fee you want to make, which is basically the money you earn for connecting the seller with the buyer. And that's your kind of like maximum allowable offer that you would make to the seller on the deal. So you got to educate yourself on different free content out there, podcasts, local real estate meetups, network with other investors out there. We have a lot of free how-to videos on this channel too to check out on how to comp properties and determine repair cost and raise money if needed and all that kind of stuff. So feel free to check it out on the channel. Step two now is you want to build your buyers list. Now, before you find properties, know who your buyers are. If they're cash buyers, are they buying to buy, renovate, and resell, or are they buy and hold people, buy, renovate, and rent out type of people? So, are they flippers or landlords? And from there, what are they willing to buy in a neighborhood given, a full renovation or moderate renovation? So ways to find these buyers is the easiest is just old school networking, right? You want to attend a local RIA, which stands for Real Estate Investor Association. You could just figure out what areas they buy in, what they look to do. You could search different online forums. Like there's a lot of on Facebook. On Facebook, there's a lot of like investor groups where you could connect with other investors in your local market. And then another way to go it is just local like sheriff sales. There's a lot of buyers there buying cash. It's another way to meet people locally. Those are serious folks trying to buy more properties. And you network with these folks, ask them if you could add them to your email list so that when you get a deal, you can email out to them and they can go take a look at the property. Step three is, now you got to find these motivated sellers. And these homeowners are basically willing to sell their property, a little bit below market value. And so common situations on what a motivated seller is someone that maybe inherited a home. Their parents passed away. It's a very dated home, and they just want to get rid of it. Someone in pre-foreclosure, they got behind on mortgage payments. They might be looking to get out of the house and downsize or something like that. There's tired landlords, they've owned the property for a few years or several years, and they're just sick of having tenants and they're looking to sell. And then obviously there's like different, divorce or job locations out there. There's plenty of different marketing lists out there that you could figure out what list to market to and how to contact these people. And it's really, you're going to be creating a marketing machine to get the deal flow you need to find deals and sell to investors. So other ways people look to do things are driving for dollars. If you got time and not money, drive around the neighborhood, look for vacant properties and, houses with high grass or in the winter time, if you're in the Northeast or a northern part of the US is not shoveled, things like that. Then you got to figure out who those owners are. You could direct mail or cold call those different lists that I talked about. And then there's like other platforms out there where you could find leads out there and check out a lot. There's PropStream, Batch Leads, Zillow. You could get for sale by owners and like pre foreclosures and other things like that. Have a lot of videos on Zillow on this channel, so check that out there. How to find properties. Now, step four is you want to get the property under contract, right? You got the marketing machine going, your phone's ringing. Now you're going to go out and visit someone to take a look at the house. You're going to use a purchase agreement, and that allows assignment of contract. So you want to make sure your contract includes an assignment clause, what your inspection and due diligence period is, and then contingency to exit deal if needed. So don't overpromise. Be upfront with people that you're looking to wholesale and probably won't buy the property. and make sure you have all the right clauses in the contract. Probably be good to get a contract from someone that already wholesales and has been vetted by an attorney for your state, or reach out to an attorney to help kind of utilize one that's has all the proper forms and disclosures for the state. Next is step five, and you want to sign the contract. So once a buyer's ready, and you have it under contract, you want to use an assignment agreement basically to transfer your rights to purchase the property to the new buyer. And the buyer usually pays what we call an assignment fee. That's usually you're going to get paid at settlement. And these fee is whatever makes sense to be. Sometimes it's a few $1,000s. It could be as high as 25K plus as well. It's going to depend on the deal. And title company handles the closing, and you get paid at the table at settlement, the assignment fee. Next is step six. You want to understand your legal requirements. Wholesaling is legal in most states, but some require a real estate license if you market the property instead of the contract. So, always, market the contract, not the property. Use attorney-proof contract and be transparent with buyers and sellers and understand your local rules and requirements. So, network with other investors that do it, or talk to attorneys out there that are qualified to talk about that. Now, step seven is build your wholesaling system, right? You want to treat it like a business. And again, real estate wholesalers really aren't investors, in my opinion. They're really a lead gen and marketing company. And once you kind of close your first deal, you want to build consistency. You want to keep a consistent pipeline going. So you're going to need a CRM for your leads. There's plenty of free and paid for services out there for customer relationship management databases. That way, if you send a letter to someone and there's a six-step process, it has all the follow-ups automatically for you and it keeps you well organized. And what are your different marketing channels, right? Are you going to do direct mail? Are you going to do SMS? Are you going to do social media? Are you going to do pay-per-click ads on Google search? Are you going to hire a virtual assistant in a different country to help you out with some of this administrative work so you can negotiate on the phone? You're going to have a call center 24/7 when you're not available to pick up. So these are things you're going to have to consider as you build out your wholesaling system. And you're going to track your numbers, right? You can treat it like a business. How many leads are coming in? How many offers did I make? How many contracts did I sign? And what's my revenue, right? So there's a few KPIs that you got to be mindful of. So what are some tools that, help a wholesaler get started? There's plenty out there. Some people use like Deal Machine, Batch Leads to find off-market deals. There's PropStream, people use in the past to research property values and owners. DocuSign to send contracts digitally. How are you going to comp properties, right? Zillow is a free tool, but you might want to get access to your local MLS as well. And then there's different like phone dialer systems out there as well that you could utilize. Now, another question people ask is, how much can I make as a wholesaler? So most wholesalers make probably between 5 and 20 per deal. But you want to be consistent basically and try to get at least a deal or two a month in the beginning. However, you have to reinvest probably most of your profits up front just to keep the market machine going. And once your system works, then you can kind of scale to multiple markets or build a small team so you're more of a business owner, not doing the day-to-day operations. So some key takeaways in this video, right? We got wholesaling is about finding opportunities, not funding properties. You want to focus on learning how to spot deals, build relationships, and negotiate. And it's the kind of a gateway strategy for a lot of real estate investors, as they kind of scale up into different commercial or just flipping or rental properties. And it's this, it's a skill set I continue to use today. I don't find distressed properties. Me and Paul, we buy through auctions, and then we can't assign the contracts. So we actually have to take them down and relist them as is on the MLS. Again, just a different way of doing it, but it's essentially still the same. We'll call it wholesaling 201, not 101. So if you're ready to learn how to, fund your or find your first wholesale deal, like this video, we got more videos coming out on this topic.